All right, our next company presenting is Dispatch Labs. And presenting we have Jesse Lamb and Alex Godin.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jesse Lamb, and I'm here with one of my co-founders, Alex Godin. With Dispatch, we're building the collaboration layer for the cloud. Cloud services like Dropbox, Google Docs, and Evernote have made life easier. You don't have to worry about backups anymore, sharing things is simpler, and you can get to your stuff from anywhere. So the cloud has changed how we connect to our stuff. The thing is, it hasn't really changed how we connect with each other about our stuff. People are still passing around links, pasting in paths for things in Dropbox, even sending files as attachments, all over email. We can do better. With Dispatch, we're building a more intelligent, more efficient layer to discuss the things you're working on. If your task list represents what you want to get done, Dispatch is how you get it done together. Here's how it works. Discussions are organized into dispatches, which are shared spaces for posting things and talking about them. And this is a dispatch. It's one place to discuss everything related to a project. You can invite people to the dispatch, and everything you see and say here is private to just those people. This dispatch is called Operation Put a Bird on It. We're using it to plan our promotional merchandise we're going to order, and everyone can weigh in with their thoughts. This is the gallery of the dispatch, which gives you a bird's eye view of everything that's been shared. You can post things from Dropbox and Google Docs, and those things will stay up to date as you make changes. And we're adding support for Evernote and other services this fall. You can also post notes and links and upload files, so you can have everything related to your project in one place. And this is the main view for the dispatch, the activity view. Things with the latest activity bubble to the top, so you can always keep up with the latest action. You can see the shoes that Alex just added are at the top. You can also see full previews of each item, and those items stay up to date, and you can see the conversation right alongside it. You can also cycle through things while you're still in preview mode. Our product manager, Jessica, found these mugs that are Dispatch Orange on the inside, and in this discussion, we decided they were a little too expensive, so we went with a different design. And here are some of the sticker choices we went through. Everyone weighed in with their thoughts, and we settled on these two. And here's a t-shirt design we're working on. Because this design is in Dropbox, this preview stays up to date as our co-founder Nick makes changes. And here's a Google Doc that Alex made with all the people we want to send t-shirts to. Anybody on the team can jump into Google Docs from right here and add their friends. Everything for the project is available here to view and discuss, and all the conversations about it are focused and organized. This is a simple example, but we found all sorts of uses for Dispatch, including going over web designs, planning and optimizing our system architecture, gathering research, making documentation. One team in our beta even assembled a book. No matter what you're working on, Dispatch helps you get it done together. Everyone can stay in the loop. Everyone can see what's going on without email overload. Because with Dispatch, you only receive email about the things you care about the most, and you can unsubscribe from any discussion with one click. So far, we've focused on connecting Dispatch to the places where you keep your work. But in time, Dispatch will connect seamlessly with your entire workflow, project management tools, enterprise social networks, CRMs. With Dispatch, we're passionate about supercharging the tools you already use so you can work together more intelligently and more efficiently. On a personal note, our work began on Dispatch last year at the Disrupt New York Hackathon. As one of the winners, we got to present our hack on stage to the whole conference. And since then, we've gone through Techstars New York, we've raised a seed round led by Thrive Capital, and we've assembled a team that's passionate about tapping the potential of the cloud. So we're really grateful to come full circle back to the Disrupt stage today to announce that our public beta is available today. with support for Dropbox and Google Docs, with Evernote and full Google Drive support coming this fall. You can sign up at dispatch.io. Dispatch is totally free during our beta, and like Dropbox and Yammer and Google Apps before us, we're adopting a freemium business model. Dispatch is ready to use for real work. And once you see what's possible, it doesn't make sense to use Dropbox without Dispatch. It doesn't make sense to use Google Docs without Dispatch. And it doesn't make sense to discuss your stuff in the cloud without Dispatch. We're really excited for you to try it. Thank you.
So this is great. We have an investment in Box, and I can do a lot of that stuff in Box. What is it specifically that you can do that can't be done in Box?
Sure. Well, Box is a potential integration for us. We're actually talking to them already. The idea is Box, like so many others in the category, are more about storage and dealing with the files you have, and they have a collaboration layer. For us, like, our vision is to be complementary with as many tools as possible. Instead of having to have one suite that does everything, we want to focus on the discussion piece so we can give you the best experience you can off of that piece, and then use the best in class for all the other parts of your workflow.
How do you make money?
Well, good question. Well, we're adopting a freemium model.
Always a stumper.
We're adopting a freemium model, and in this space, like Dropbox and Box, it's in even Evernote. People tend to get it to a point of revenue and profitability quicker because people pay for things that allow them to be more efficient. And so since we're in the productivity space, we have a relatively straightforward path to revenue and profitability.
So what is the value that you're bringing to sort of work collaborations? The discussion piece, like what's the reason I would use this? Back to Tim's question, that I would not just use Dropbox or Docs or email alone.
Sure. A couple of things. One, with email, the things you're talking about don't stay up to date. So you end up passing along different versions. People have different things in different places. And we connect to the services you already use so that we can give you that live, rich experience with the conversation right along the thing you're talking about.
What in email doesn't stay up to date? So today when I share a document, I have a Google Docs, and I see that you support Google Docs on your
Right.
service. And that document gets edited always in real time and up to date. So that version that is being shared in the link that gets sent around is in real time.
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons we connect with Google Docs, because the experience is so good. But virtually every project has more than one component than just those live Google Docs pieces. And so what Dispatch allows you to do is pull together all the pieces of your project, not just the Google Docs, but the links you assemble as you're in the research phase, the final product that may end up in Dropbox as a PDF or something else. We bring one place to get to all the parts of the project.
Now, you said that you don't have to use email, you can cut it off, but it sounds like you're a replacement for email on a project, right?
To an extent. I mean,
I do like the idea that the sequence is always in order.
Absolutely.
Because in email, I never know who wrote what when.
We're a substitute, but we're also realists, and we know email isn't going away entirely. So we have a really good email experience where you can reply by email, and if it's a link or if it's a note, the body of the email or the body of that is in the email. But you have a place where there's a repo for all of the activity to go and see it. So because email is going to be around for a long time, we supplement that experience, and but we're not trying, well, we'd like to completely replace it, but we realize that that's a tough road to hoe.
Are you worried that this might just be a feature that the email suppliers just take and then?
Perhaps, but email is a really old protocol, and extending it is pretty arduous. What happens is, like, even with the things that Gmail does, that is in excess of email, they're doing it in tandem with the underlying email technology that hasn't really changed very much. And we're kind of doing the same thing.
You should ask a question.
So
She's at Dropbox.
Right.
I am at Dropbox. It's cool that you're building the collaboration layer on top of it, but I guess just like people like using different services, whether it's Google Docs, Dropbox, etc., people also like using different things for collaboration. It's very difficult, like Tim said, to pull them out of email. So there's always going to be splits. There'll be some percentage of the team that might prefer dispatch, but there'll always be that live email stream going. And if you want to build a freemium model, you need commitment. So how are you going to make that work?
Good question. There's a lot of, as far as on the things that people will be paying for would be beyond just the discussion features. Like, we have a great opportunity to introduce like version control and larger controls over which people have access to what and what they can do with it. But with, sorry, I lost my train of thought. So the idea is we add value wherever we can, and we'll find the vectors to charge for it. As what we need to do is find a place to get a foot pigeonholed in people's workflow, and then build more value on top of that once we're in.
Yeah,
But any secret to, as she said, any secret to getting that first user and then having the whole group sort of have to use it?
Right.
Mike, do you have any quick thoughts on this?
No, it's interesting because part of what you're doing is also providing a single sign-on solution. I just wonder if you're going to get some pushback on managing all those credentials and authentication to those various services, especially within small
from the
business.
users?
Yeah.
Not so much. Our OAuth, like we just OAuth as in the course of using the app, and the way that we've set it up, there's actually in each dispatch, there's a button for Dropbox, a button for Google Docs, so you don't have to auth until you're ready to use those services.
And do you anticipate that primarily your users will be on the iPad or doing this from a desktop browser?
We eventually want to build a great tablet experience, and in fact, that's where we started with the idea. But the reality is the desktop is still the primary productivity platform for most people. So that's why we started with the web. But we built it so that our front end and our back end are entirely separate. So all the heavy lifting happens in our back end app. So when we go to build a mobile app, we're just building another client, just like our web app.
All right, so we're out of time. That was
Cool.
Dispatch. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.